Hey boys and girls, welcome back to Persona 3 FES. In the last episode, we completed our very first exploration of the Abyss of Time, and honestly, although very similar to the Tartarus during the main adventure, it's actually a little bit more rewarding due to the fact that once you reach the end of a block, or a door in this case, you actually get a little bit of story, and apparently, with the last one, we actually got a little bit of aid for our journey as well, due to the fact that we can now go to Paulownia Mall. Although it's not the Paulownia Mall from our time, it's actually the Paulownia Mall from the last year in 2009, when our main character was still alive, which is very interesting. But we're actually able to buy supplies, buy items, and even buy food, which is really, really good. But with that all being said and done, it's honestly, our main goal is to restart the time clock, so the future that should be happening can actually happen. But first things first, we actually have a conversation I actually missed out on in the last episode with Metis here, since Metis is very important to the story here, because this is literally her story, so honestly, we should make sure what's going on with her.
Aren't we going to go?
Yeah, of course, in a second though.
Exploring the dungeon is getting more fun. Don't you think so too, sister?
You're right. Yeah, it is a little bit fun.
I know I have to hurry if I want to protect you, but it'll seem like a shame when this is all over.
And with that, we'll do the other one too, because you can actually do both. So this time we'll say that, not everyone thinks so, but honestly I do.
I'm sorry, but I don't know anyone besides you, so it's hard to know what they think.
Interesting. But with that, we're ready to actually make our way into the next door. And although the last one was called Mailvolg, we're actually making our way into Cocytus. I'm not joking. That's literally the name. I think that's an obvious joke, and I'm not gonna go any further into it, but if you know what that sounds like, yeah, that's definitely a thing.
This must be the second door. Are you ready?
Yeah, I think we're ready. And with that, let's make our way now into the next area. And now that we actually have a working persona, this actually won't be as, weird nowadays. Because, honestly, with Orpheus, it just wasn't possible with a normal Orpheus, I'm gonna be honest. So, now that we actually have the ability to actually have personas, and I actually have a way to actually, go through the compendium and fuse them, we don't need the maxed out stat personas anymore. We just needed it for the first one to actually get our feet in the ground, so it's at least fair for us. But now that we actually are in a much better spot, I actually now have a persona that has almighty damage, which is nice, and we're actually in a most definitely useful spot when it comes to actually fighting things. We can now play like normal. So, with that, let's do this.
I'll try scanning ahead. It's only a faint reaction right now, but I can sense some strong enemies below. They're still far away now, but please be careful. Wait, there's another strange reaction there. That presence. Could it be the black shadow you saw before? It feels like it's right in front of you, and yet far away at the same time. I'm sorry, but I can't pinpoint its location. I'll keep trying. Be careful when proceeding.
Okay. So apparently Spooks or Makoto, which I'm calling him Spooks because that's what we called him throughout the entirety of the story, but apparently Makoto is in front of us somewhere, or what seems to be Makoto, and I finally learned how to use this gun, by the way, now that I actually got to train and actually learn it. It's actually much easier to use than I thought it was. But here's our Megiddo user, a persona I actually really like, Samuel. Honestly, I just like him just because he's a giant evil demon dragon, honestly, he looks cool. But yeah, definitely useful, and apparently Metis is actually more useful than I thought, because she actually has power charge, which is very, very interesting. So, honestly, I'm pretty happy. But, I think these guys were weak to wind. That's what they were weak to in, the Tartarus, I think. Or even in Persona 4, because they also have the same weaknesses. I think it's fire, actually. I think those are the ones that Yukiko in Persona 4 used fire on to do extra damage. Although we're not really using fire at the moment, other than our Samuel, of course. Samuel has Aguileo, but it's not going to be that easy to pull out of nowhere. So honestly, it's just nice to actually have a persona that's useful now. And now I don't feel like completely and utterly being kind of screwed over by the game itself. And yeah, the game was definitely not being fair, because throwing you in here at like level 26 against enemies that are on hard mode then when you haven't played hard mode at all is definitely not the nicest thing, and that's a nice shadow there, screaming in my ear. Thankfully you guys don't have to hear it at max volume, but I do technically sometimes, because I have my headset down a little bit and it's still loud for me, but thankfully you guys don't have to hear it as long as I do, because obviously whenever I edit, and I'm gonna shoot this thing. Oh, what the? Okay. I guess shooting my gun scared it enough to have it stop running. Okay. I know I'm kind of like sliding by some of these shadows, but the thing is sometimes you don't need to fight every single shadow when it comes to where we're at right now. Right now we're kind of in a safe spot since all of them are worried. That means we're perfectly safe, because I did training in between, because the story doesn't actually start until you go into the next one, which is nice. Unlike when it came to the Tartarus and, like, you know, when we were doing the Tartarus, so I didn't have to worry about going into the previous dungeon, and I actually got to train in between episodes, so I actually feel ready for this episode, unlike I would when I'm trying to train in episode like I was in the last one, because I had to do a little bit of training in between, and also make sure that we actually made it to our destination without dying. So yeah, it was definitely kind of scary, but thankfully now it seems like we're actually in a good spot, and I can actually enjoy my time here, because honestly, if we're gonna be going through another Tartarus, I would at least like to do it in like a much easier state like we're doing it right now, just kind of chilling, making our way through, talk about things that might come up in my head that I want to talk about with you guys, and even like some theories that I might think about while we're making our way to our first area. Okay, I see a rank 4 Expia card that I really want, but I highly doubt. I think it's this one, I think. Okay, it is. Okay, good. I was paying attention enough to actually notice where it was. That's good. Okay. Let's see here. We can either go left or right here. I'm gonna say right. And also, I noticed how easy it is to actually shoot this gun sometimes. It actually auto-aims sometimes. As long as you're in, like, a general location of the shadow, the gun actually auto-aims, which is really nice. Which is not something that the, Saber did when we were playing as Spooks, so that's actually really nice. I guess we technically could use the bow, and it's kind of the same thing, but honestly, I'm not really sure. I'm gonna say it's probably the same thing with the bow and the gun that Aegis uses, but honestly, I wouldn't be able to tell beforehand because of the fact that only Aegis could use the gun. So yeah, definitely not the easiest thing to check, because even the knife that Koro uses is only a weapon he can use. So I wouldn't ever be able to know how good the knife or the gun is at any point until we came to this story. And I don't think we'll ever find out how good Koro's knife is at attacking at any point, due to the fact that Koro's knife is, I don't think we're ever going to be able to play as Koro himself unless they add like an extra story and like a remake of this game where you get to play as every character and have like a backstory for every character or something. But I'm going to say that's probably not going to be the case.
How are you doing, Aegis? It seems like you're slowly getting a hang of leading the team. You're all making good progress, so that's a relief. Please be careful as you go.
Okay. But yeah, obviously they will remake this game at some point, but I feel like if they do remake this game, they wouldn't make multiple, like, stories where you can play as any character. And I swear, sometimes these shadows run around like maniacs sometimes. Okay, well, at least we got this fight, but I just didn't want to run to this next stairs without fighting the shadow at least, because sometimes I just feel like, you guys can go through a couple more fights, because I don't want that video to end too soon for you guys, because honestly, you guys had probably a hard day and you want to watch a little bit of a YouTube video and actually hang out with me for a little bit longer than I could be if I were to just run through the dungeon like a normal Tartarus. So I'm trying to give you guys a little bit more to like go with and have a little bit of fun with it, because honestly, I'm having fun with this version of this because I know that I'm gonna get story at the end of this, which is really nice, which wasn't a thing with the Tartarus. You got a little document at the end, and you didn't really get to enjoy it. So honestly, due to the fact that, you know, as we see right here, we're actually having some fun, and I'm actually enjoying my time, unlike I did with most of the Tartarus, because it's literally 264 floors, and little to no actual story is gained from the Tartarus other than the final block. So I think you guys can understand what I mean by that, because the game has definitely been very mean when it came to the Tartarus, because it could have had more, but it didn't. And I feel like that definitely hindered my my fun with the dungeon, honestly, because I feel like it could have been much more fun, but sadly it wasn't the case due to the fact that how they kind of did the Tartarus. They just had Fuka kind of just repeat lines constantly, and it didn't really add to the overarching story, what she was saying, because you can go through it without even paying attention to Fuka's lines, and you would get probably the same amount of story as we did just playing the game normally. So, with that being said, now that we're actually at the end of the 5th floor, I'm gonna do our first cut, and I'll see you at our first boss fight, since more than likely, the first boss fight is probably getting near. I just don't know where it is, but I'll see you guys very, very shortly. I'm gonna say it's probably floor 8 or 9 or 10, one of those 3. So with that, I'll see you on one of those floors. Okay, now that we're on the 8th floor, all you really missed, story-wise, by the way, is Makoto ran by, like, in the previous, door area, the mail bulge, and literally Fuka just said there's a strong presence on the next floor, basically just saying there's a boss fight. So nothing major story-wise, so literally it was just Makoto ran by as the black shadow or whatever is going on there. But all we know is that there's going to be a boss fight on the next floor, so let's do this. So, let's jump down the hole and see where we're going.
I sense a powerful presence directly below you. Are you ready?
Yes, I am. So, let's do this. Jump down the hole and fight whatever monstrosity we end up fighting down here, because, honestly, we already know that it's going to be some sort of, like, guardian-like thing. And it seems like it's just one this time.
Shadow confirmed. Oh, and over there.
And there it is again. That same shadow that I saw just a second ago.
It disappeared again. We'll just concentrate on the enemy for now. Incoming.
Okay. So it looks like an ice wheel. Okay, interesting. So don't use ice skills on it then, right? That would make sense, because it literally looks like it's made out of ice, but it could also be made out of glass. Who honestly knows, honestly? That is kind of hard to really think about, really, isn't it? Okay. So, first things first is go for a Megiddo, since almighty damage is always going to hit, so let's at least make sure we're doing some kind of damage. And we do auto Tarakaja when Samuel hits the field, so that's also nice. Okay, Maurin Karin, we can go for a power charge, so let's power charge early, just so we have double damage for the next time Metis attacks, so that'll definitely be nice. Okay, and then, we could have had Marakunda from Akihiko there, but that thing attacked first, but let's increase everyone's defense since we can do that, because that'll definitely help out in the future. And then, we'll wait for Akihiko to be able to attack again, I guess. Okay. Since I want to make sure that we're using, I forgot which one is that actually has Rakunda, this one. Does my Lenin have that also as well? Yeah, it does. Okay, this one's better to use. I just want to make sure that we're safe to throw it out without being, like, you know, getting completely trampled, because that thing's lower level, so just in case. Okay, defense down. It's going for another Mabufala. Hopefully it misses. Nope, Akihiko's just going to get spam hit for multiple times in a row. Poor guy. But we can go for a Fatal End here for double damage since we have Power Charge on, so we should be perfectly fine. Okay, so far so good. I think we should probably pick up Akihiko so he can actually do something, because he wastes a turn actually standing up. So let's save him some turns and actually get him back up on the field, because he definitely would like to move again, I would think. Okay. So far so good. I'm gonna say we should probably decrease his hit and attack rates. That would be smart, so he can't always hit Akihiko, and it actually gives him a little bit more of a chance to actually do things. Okay, so far so good. Go into the Samuel again, since we know Samuel's going to be good. And then we can go into either Nagileo, or we can go into Megiddo, I mean. I'm going to say Megiddo, because Medium Almighty is just nice in general, because we don't have to worry about him reflecting it or any other nonsense. It just makes things much more easier to deal with. Okay, he's summoning things. Is it safe to go focus on him or no? Honestly, that's a good question. I can charm this thing, maybe. I can maybe get this thing to attack them. That'd be nice. Nope, it's missing. Okay, that means you can't do it whatsoever. That's unfortunate, but that we can focus this thing, so I'm gonna say let's make sure that these can't do anything, because this is probably gonna be much more dangerous than the actual thing we're fighting, honestly, because you never know with these, like, things that these things summon. Sometimes they can actually be overwhelming, so let's just make sure we don't have to worry about anything. Okay, and then a Megiddo should be able to get rid of that, even though we don't have the attack from the Tarakaja that we get first. Oh, okay, it uses Aggie9. That's good to know. Okay, it's summoning again. Another Soul Dancer. Okay, well, that's not too bad. As long as we get the other one off field first, I think we'll be pretty much fine for the most of this fight. But I guess we'll find out. Okay, so far so good. Okay, now that we actually got that off the field, I think it's about time we use Origin Mode. It's the reason why I didn't use it right away is because it earlier in the game it said to use it at key moments where you think it's going to be the perfect time to do so. So I'm trying not to do it too often, just in case, so we have it all set for when we do need it. So hopefully we don't have to worry about using it now, because it should be fine right now, right? I would think, at least. So, okay, since we did a little bit of damage to him, we can do a little bit more damage to these Soul Dancers that are spawning. I just want to make sure they don't get too much of a freebie for being on field and everything. That's why I'm doing damage to both the wheel and the dancers at the same time, just in case. Okay, the wheel's down. Now we just gotta deal with the dancer. Okay, perfect. That makes things 10 times easier. Into Origin Mode, since it's definitely useful. And free damage is always nice as well, because it's literally Power Charge Fatal End for free, basically. Which is really, really nice. So honestly, I think we should go into the Fatal End, because I think that does more damage. And because I think that thing actually has a ice weakness, or not weakness, resistance. And I'm using an ice increase item accessory. So honestly, I don't think using ice would be good there, because I think those things actually resist it / repel it. So honestly, I was just being safe there, because we knew that the other thing would hit. Okay, Mudun is always nice. And I don't know why he has Ghastly Wail when the fact that he doesn't even have Fear on the persona in general. So I don't honestly understand the Ghastly Wail, to be honest, but we're going to say no to that. Because you need Fear in order to get the insta-kill with Ghastly Wail, so it's literally kind of just useless at that point. Unless maybe the original one had it, but it's always just nice. Okay, we're going to go through this door just in case. Okay, it's going to take us back to the Desert of Doors, but it's just to make sure we don't lose this, because I don't know if you don't go through the door or not, and you won't get the door like unlocked or something here. So it's just safe to open it early just in case, because I honestly haven't tested it. So let's just make sure we don't lose our halfway point or whatever, because there's definitely still more floors left. But okay, let's go into the 10th floor, and then I guess we'll cut into the next area, since that's what we did in the last one.
That black shadow. The strange reaction I sensed when you got to this floor. Oh, sorry. I'm not detecting any strong presences right now, but the shadows on this floor seem to be stronger than before. Please be careful if you go on.
Okay, with that, I'll see you guys once we actually have the next thing happen. Because, honestly, the last time we did, the male bulge, floor, when we got to this part, basically we had one conversation with Fuka, and then she didn't say anything for the rest of it. So, honestly, I think we're perfectly fine to do a cut here until we get to wherever we're going. So, with that, I'll be right back with you guys. Okay, and I ended up being right. There actually was no more conversations till we actually headed to the end. So, on the 15th floor, we're now at the end of the Cocytus floor, or door, or whatever you want to call it, but we're actually at the end, so let's see what's going on here, now that the sands of time have allowed us to come here. So, let's see what's going on.
It looks like a dead end. We'll head over there now. Why don't you see if you can find anything else?
Okay, So let's make our way to the door, and like the last one, it should take us to the past, and maybe it will lead to aiding us in the future, you never know. But it seems like we have Ken, unknown time, and some sergeants. Okay, this doesn't seem to be like the Polonium Mall. This looks more like a memory. Okay, so let's see what's going on. Well, Sergeant?
You can go on. Looks like a pretty routine accident.
Okay. I'll give the sergeant his own voice, because obviously it's a sergeant, so it's not just some random policeman, so we'll give him his own voice.
Hey kid, sorry it took so long. Says, here your name's Kanamata. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. But when was this taken?
Well, jeez. Sorry about, what happened to your mom.
Oh, this is right after the accident then, with Shinjiro, Ken's mom, and Akihiko and Mitsuru. Oh no. So that's when this is. So this took place, what was that, like a couple years ago? So, that sucks.
But she gave her life to save you from the collapse.
So he was in the house. Okay, that's interesting.
Anyway, I gotta take your statement. You're a witness after all.
Okay. So, what's gonna happen here?
If I told you what happened to me, would you believe me?
Probably not.
Of course I would. Help people out is our job.
Based on what we know, he tried to tell somebody what happened, and they just reflected it, so this must have been it. Because he said that when we talked to him randomly a couple times, and throughout the main story, that he tried to tell people what happened to his mom, and that it was just a cover-up and everything, and no one believed him. So, I'm gonna guess this is more than likely the conversation that they alluded to during the main story.
My mom was murdered.
What?
Around midnight, I got up to use the bathroom, and I heard voices by the door. I looked up and saw this teenager holding his head and yelling.
And that's Shinjiro.
Wait, you're saying you did it? But the whole house was crushed.
Yep, Shinjiro.
There was this shining kind of horse monster, and it came right out of him. It roared, and my mom and my house were...
Yeah, destroyed.
Oh, a monster, huh? There's no way that actually happened. I shouldn't laugh. I know sometimes after a traumatic incident like this, people can.
I'm not lying, and I really saw it.
Yeah, this guy's not gonna believe him. If it was Kurosawa, maybe, but yeah, I don't think this guy's gonna help at all.
Look, it was an accident. Plain and simple. Drunk driver crashed his car into your house.
Yeah, where's the car, bud?
What? A car crash?
How does that happen? His house is literally where those, where that bar is. There's literally no way you can drive a car there.
We've already found the car and what's left of the driver. We just need an account of the incident now.
That makes no sense. Because his house is in an inlet. You can't drive a car there. It's literally impossible.
That's a lie. You're making that up.
Based on what we know, Kirijo also... the Kirijo group also covered it up as well. So, more than likely the police officer was paid as well. So, poor Ken, honestly.
I know that's what you think, but it's true.
He was there. He knows what happened. That's not fair at all. Sergeant, can you come out here?
Be right there.
Poor Ken, really. It really does suck. If, I don't know which Kirijo told them to cover that up, but none of these should have been covered up when it came to, like, deaths and things, honestly. They should have tried to actually give a more, like, honest testimony, because saying a car crashed into the house is very, very much a lie. At least make it, like, believable, like something fell on the house or something from above, like a plane hit the house or something, I don't know. At least something believable, but a car crash in the middle of a suburban area that's completely blocked by big, like, hotel-like buildings, that's completely unbelievable, and it makes no sense. Or at least, like, say, that a murder did happen, but they're looking into the person that did it, at least. But don't really or something. I don't know. It's at least, like, say to the kid that you're actually going to do something. It's kind of messed up, honestly.
Wait, I really saw it.
I'm sorry for your loss. I have to go, but, well, hope things get better.
Yep, they totally got better. The kid almost, did something to himself that he would have majorly regretted nowadays. So, yep, you really helped him, Mr. Police Officer. Poor Ken, honestly. I really do feel bad for him. Got orphaned because of the group that he's literally working for now. And it was all because of an accident on top of that. Thankfully, he turned, to our side, but it's still unfortunate the events that actually caused him to even join us in the first place, because I don't think he would have joined us anyways, or beforehand, if, his mom never got killed off in the first place, because he wouldn't have no reason to join us. But it's still sad that it ended up happening in the end, because I honestly do feel bad for the kid. The kid's like 10 years old-ish, so honestly, like, the poor kid's all by himself in the world at this point. And thankfully he was able to find some friends through seas and learn to, you know, like living and have a fun time with the rest of what he's got, and he's got a long life to live, and Shinjiro sacrificed himself for Ken to, like, continue living and, you know, actually enjoy his, like, the rest of his life and everything, because Takai almost killed him. So, yeah, I hope Ken's, you know, doing a little bit better, like, nowadays. He more than likely is, based on what we know. He's a little upset that Spook/Makoto is dead now, but he seems like, for the most part, he's still pretty much old Ken. Like, just having a nice time with what he can.
Liar, you said you'd believe me.
Poor kid. Honestly, it just sucks for him.
I can't trust any adults, so I'll find him myself.
And he did. He actually did find him himself. Shinjiro Aragaki. Poor dude, honestly. It really is unfortunate. I think that was his last name. I think I got that right. That's the one thing I don't remember for the main characters is their last name. So if I actually remembered his last name, that's actually good, because I actually don't remember most of them. I know Fuga's Yamagishi, Mitsuru Kurijo, Yukari Takaba, Kanamata, Akihiko Sanada, and then Makoto doesn't have a last name that we can find. Then you have Koromaru and Aegis, and then Metis, so none of those have last names. And then you have Shuji Ikatsuki. So I think that's actually alright. I actually remembered them. That's surprising. Because, yeah, those names are actually kind of hard to remember, honestly, sometimes.
This door is gone, but the first door didn't disappear. It just opened up to a new place.
That's interesting. So, So I'm guessing the rest of them are going to be the same way then. Unless maybe we get another area later on in the, like, areas, because eventually they might open up another, like, free roam area, maybe, but I'm gonna say it's more likely gonna probably be more like that with Ken, like Ken's, memory there with other characters, because there's a lot of characters that can show their old memories, honestly.
Never mind that was...
Yeah, Ken's past.
That brings back memories.
Oh, poor kid, but he seems to be happy, though, because, you know, he's a changed person.
I thought of lots of ways to search for the culprit, but I couldn't manage any of them alone. I kept wondering why the culprit had special powers and I didn't. I wonder if that's what led me to start experiencing the Dark Hour since that day.
But, actually, yeah. Oh, so he summoned it during the daytime. Oh, okay. That's interesting. So it was during the evening then. It wasn't even during the Dark Hour that happened. That's interesting. Huh.
Ken?
I think he's gonna be fine.
My family must have been the ones who put the accident cover-up in the first place. I'm sorry for that.
Oh, yeah, there's multiple Kurijos. So, Mr. Kurijo, the father of Mitsuru, may not even have put that one in place. That could have been one of the other family members, because Mitsuru says later in the game, after Mr. Kurijo passes away, that there's still other people in the family that are, like, doing things, and she has to win their trust and stuff like that. So, So it must have been a different Kurijo than the two ones that we thought were good. So that sucks. Poor Ken, honestly. Poor kid did nothing wrong, and the bad Karijo, whoever it was, ended up ruining the kid's life almost.
Hey, Menace, what was that about?
What'd she do wrong?
What about? Oh, I see. Apparently, events that not everyone was involved in can only be watched. That's something new.
Interesting.
That's not what I meant. Why did we see such a painful memory?
It wasn't that painful. Ken seems to be more reminiscing over it, honestly.
Huh? How would I know? It's your past.
Yeah, how would Menace know? She's just trying to help.
You better not be hiding anything.
I don't know, honestly. Due to the intro of this, it seems like maybe that might be the case.
How would I benefit from that? I'm only speculating, but I think the door reflects the mind of those who enter. It's the same reason we found a place to get supplies, and why we were able to return directly back. Right now, you wish to erase the abyss of time as soon as possible, and make it out alive, right? If so, then although what's inside the doors seem unrelated to our situation, we see it for a reason. Maybe you should think hard about what the reason might be instead of wasting time accusing me.
Jeez, she's like an angry version of Aegis. It's kind of funny, because Aegis is like all like calm and selective, and this one's like Yukari in a way, or Chie in a way, I guess you could say. It's kind of funny. It's like, it's very much different from Aegis, and I like it, honestly, because it gives a little bit more, like, since, because Aegis's voice is very, well, it's robotic, that's the whole point of it, but it actually adds emotion to it due to the fact that the character is, not just calm and collected, so it's actually funny to do the voice on top of that with the character being angry with the voice. It's actually interesting to have, like, that kind of a dialogue with that voice.
Oh, what did you say?
It's alright. What she's saying might be true.
Yeah, I believe her.
Ken?
Yeah, you okay, Ken?
Actually, I've been wondering about all that lately. Things weren't perfect, but it seemed more straightforward and more in pure black then, when I was fighting. We don't get that kind of passion by just going to school every day.
True. Very true, actually.
Sonata-san, you dedicated yourself to boxing again recently, right? Isn't that because you don't want to lose your feeling you used to have? Of course, that could just be my own way of seeing it.
Seems to be the case then, due to how Akihiko just reacted to it.
Maybe you're right. Maybe I do feel like I just did.
Let's not talk like that.
Huh? What are you talking about, Yukari? It seems like it's a fine subject to talk about.
There's no use bringing up the past. Don't you remember our entire reason for risking everything? If we don't keep our eyes forward, it was all a waste of time.
No, not really. I said that if we forgot everything, it would be a waste of time. Not that if we look at the past, it would be a waste of time. No. The future is definitely worth fighting for, but you could still look towards the old memories and stuff, and I think Yukari doesn't understand that. And well, I guess the rest of C's didn't really understand that either, because we never said to give up. We said to keep looking towards the future, didn't we? So, they took it the wrong way, it seems. Because we had final conversations with them, and we said, hey, look towards the future, and we never said anything about not reminiscing. So, it's very interesting that this is how they ended up taking what we told them. Even though, we're silent protagonists for the most part, but we actually did have choices that we could say that, hey, try and live, just have fun, basically, is what we said at the end of the day, right?
Yukari. Let's go.
Oh, okay. Yukari doesn't want to look towards the past anymore. Huh, interesting. For what reason did the vision of a friend's past suddenly appear? He decided to return to the lounge. Interesting. Very, very interesting. So, since we did this in the last one with the Polonium Mall, I feel like we should probably talk to everybody before, the next episode. So, let's do a little bit of what we can. It looks like Mitsuru has one more thing for us before we do that.
Alright. I think I'm done searching for clues. Yamagishi will pick up the search from here. From this point on, I'll be joining the main investigation as well.
So that means we're full team again.
Everyone's finally together now.
If you need my help, don't hesitate to call me. Okay, we'll definitely do that. So we'll probably go from left side to right side, since I like to end with Metis, honestly, since that's honestly the most, like, important character when it comes to this story, because the whole story is about Aegis and Metis, I think, when it comes to, like, if you look at it at face value, that's who the story is about. Even though it is all about Seas, I think it's mostly about Aegis and Metis, because Metis was introduced in this story. So most of the story is going to be about both of those two, I would think.
Losing your parents is painful, in more ways than one. I was too young to remember their faces, and that hurts too. Honestly, nobody can fault Ken for the choice he made. Sorry to bring up something like that. We've got to pull ourselves together. So yeah, maybe you already know, but my persona can take a punch, and is resistant to physical attacks. Let me know anytime you need my help.
Okay, we'll definitely let you know. Hey, Junpei.
Hey, Ai-chan. Doesn't Yucatan look kinda gloomy? You think it's just me?
No, I think so too.
I knew it. Who knows what's going on in that chick's mind? Especially Yucatan's.
Okay. Well, what about you, buddy?
Were you worried seeing my past? It's alright. The past is the past. Thank you, Aegis-san.
Yeah, no problem, bud. Poor kid's not going to be able to join us on our adventure because I do not trust single target allies at this point, but we'll think about it, I guess. If I feel like he's going to be like a perfect fit for a certain area or something, then maybe I might bring him. But at the moment, I don't think so, just because I don't trust, due to the fact that all he has is light magic and electricity magic, I don't feel it's safe. Because we can bring someone else that might be better, is what I'm trying to say. So, yeah, I'm very selective on Ken at the moment. And even Koro, because although Koro is good on his own, and he does have heavy magic when it comes to fire, I just don't want to worry about that, because I want to worry on using the people I feel like are going to be the best possible choices for that specific dungeon, or just that I trust them enough that they're not going to, like, fail me, basically, is what I'm trying to say, because, yeah, I don't want to worry about that, because the fact that the dungeons are much harder, and I can't just select any character I want at this point, due to, when we were playing on easier difficulty, I could just choose any character, basically, is my whole reasoning why I was doing it like that, because then I can just chill out and just use any character, and you guys can have a little bit of interaction with those characters as well, that we normally wouldn't get if, we never used them, because a lot of people don't use every character in these games, and I actually go out of my way to add characters that didn't have a chance in previous dungeons, or previous full moon operations, or even in other games, and I try and give these characters extra chances, and so other people can see them and understand them. So that's the whole reason why I do that kind of stuff. But with that, let's continue here.
I'm sorry to be gone from the group for so long. I'll be participating actively in the investigation now. If you need a reminder, my strong points are ice attacks and healing skills. Use them as you see fit.
Okay.
Leave anything that's weak to ice to me. I'll freeze their assets.
Their assets. There's a joke in there. If you don't understand it, I guess ask your parents, I guess.
Let's hurry. We haven't even opened half the doors in the Desert of Doors yet. If we don't go through all of them, we'll never get this over with.
True, I guess. Well, what about you, Fuka? I don't think we can talk to Koro, so there's no point, but we'll talk to, at least Fuka, and then we'll go see Metis.
When we saw Kenken's past, we could only watch, right? It's right in front of you, but it feels as if you're not really there. It's pretty close to what it feels like when I'm giving support.
Interesting. Yeah, that does sound about right, though, because she can't do anything. She doesn't have any, actual fighting skills, so all she can do is, support us and tell us to try and be okay, and give us, map support, basically. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. I feel bad, because Fuka really does seem like she would like to join us.
Each time we go to the shopping mall, the time shifts forward slightly. I thought we were visiting the same time again and again, but the times things they sell have changed too. I wonder if this is another reflection of your will.
Interesting. So the time's never the same in Polonia Mall. Really? That's weird. I got a thing I want to check. let's do this, because you know the lady inside that one building? I wonder if she has a different dialogue if that's the case. Because you would think she wouldn't say the same thing if the time's always ticking. So maybe she'll say something else, maybe. Let's see. It's worth a shot, honestly. If you're going to come around this often, you should take a look at my antiques every now and then. I don't make a practice of complaining to customers, but that is supposed to be the focus of the shop. Then again, I'm partially to blame for opening a shop in a suspicious place like this. Huh, she actually did have a different dialogue. Interesting. Maybe I'll come back here every dungeon. I don't know if it's always going to be different, but that was something different. Huh, interesting. It sounded like something like she would say to Makoto, but I honestly don't know because I never really talked to her and never really used her services, so it is interesting. And it's also nice to hear this music again. It's been a while since I've heard this song, but, But with that, thank you all for watching today's episode. Have a wonderful rest of your day. Thank you all for watching today's episode and have a wonderful rest of your day. And honestly, when we get into the next dungeon, we're going to do the same thing, because honestly, this just works. So, thank you all for watching, have a wonderful rest of your day, and see you all in the next one. Peace out. Hey boys and girls, thank you all for watching today's episode. If you liked what you saw today, please leave a like and maybe even subscribe. And hit the bell notification down below. If you guys have any kind of suggestions for games, please put that in the comments down below as well. Thank you all for watching today's episode, and keep being spooky. Peace out, guys.